from different places, we all have different names. No matter what life brings us, Jesus is the same. We're just your Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness.
Well, guys, it's been a minute. I feel like I haven't seen you for more than 1 minute.
Yeah, it's definitely been more than 1 minute and possibly more than 10 minutes.
It's been 17 minutes.
At least.
Yes, indeed. Very specific in that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in the past couple weeks, I'm sure a lot has happened with you guys. So I'm curious how things have been, what you've been up to, how have the holidays been so far? I saw you in the holiday play, the Christmas pageant.
Yeah, the Christmas pageant. It was so nice. Beth, do you want to go first or should I go first? Okay, I'm going first.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I was in the Christmas pageant with Beth. We were singing a duet, and that was pretty neat. And it was kind of like last minute, too. Did I mention this on the last episode? I don't remember. So I'm just going to give a nice, concise update.
No, we didn't talk about. I don't think. This.
Okay, so yeah, basically Beth and I were in the choir rehearsal, and then she came up to me and she's like, "Hey, do you want to sing in the Christmas pageant?" I'm like, "Yes, definitely," because I did not have the opportunity to be in the Christmas pageant because I was too busy when the rehearsals first started. So I was really happy that Beth came to me with that opportunity. So and then on that rehearsal, it was a Tuesday rehearsal. I found out from Lisa that we also were missing a video for Joseph. And so she asked me if I could do a video for Joseph. And I'm like, yeah, sure, definitely. But then I'm like, wait, I don't even know when I would be able to do this. Maybe we could just do it right now. So the first rehearsal I go to for Christmas pageant, we end up doing the recording for Joseph that night. That was really cool. And we had the green outfit on me. And so something that I just realized today is after going through Pastor Jim's sermons on 2 times speed, Joseph actually had a beard. And in my video for Joseph for Christmas pageant, I don't have a beard anymore. So, no.
Next year, Tim.
Yeah,
imposter.
You need to flip flop when you shave your beard. Have the beard in the winter, and then shave in the summer.
Oh, I like that.
That's what the cool people do.
Right. Excellent. I will take that into full consideration for next year. So besides that, I wanted to give an update on what's going on with me in other regards. So I wasn't going to share this, but I just figured, well, I want to totally have it so everybody knows everything about me in many regards. I ended up with some sort of toothache today, and I don't know why, because I didn't really do anything unusual. I just had some salad and tuna, and just last night my teeth were fine, and then this morning not. So, and I didn't think that I had any other real symptoms to be alarmed. So I've just had this annoying toothache for hours today. I'm like, oh gosh. And I'm to the point now that I'm just annoyed by it, but I'm accepting it. I'm like, eventually it's going to go away. I'm taking.
Is it a sinus thing?
No, okay. It's just like a radiating sort of pain thing. I'm confident it will go away, but probably not until tomorrow. So that's fun. But I don't know if it's it's not as bad as having a cold or something like that. But it's annoying. So because of that, your mileage may vary regarding my updating anything or providing any sort of feedback on anything in this podcast episode. It's like one of those disclaimers or something. So the next thing I want to mention is I came to an interesting realization, And it's kind of similar to what like insights I had in the past. And basically, I've just been like, I think because of the Christmas season here, I've just been really focusing on renewing my love for God. And I actually came up with a way to kind of remind myself of that. And I will say, I love you so much, God, during the day. And that helps me like cultivate that love for God more and just kind of feel better in general, like not only about my relationship with God, but also like regarding myself and then like everyone else. And I think that's just a really nice thing. And then there was this video I saw on YouTube where this elder or somebody who speaks on behalf of a church said that one thing that you can do, he learned from Mother Teresa, that if you say "Good morning, Jesus," when you wake up in the morning, then that can help you have a more spiritually uplifted day, connecting with God and everything. So I've been doing that too, and that's been really nice. And then finally, I was feeling sad over a friendship that a friend and I got kind of distant. It was one of my old high school friends, and I couldn't really do anything about it. I actually was generally confused and sad for like 2 or 3 days. But then I remembered that book, Don't Believe Everything You Think. And then I'm like, you know what? I need to just stop thinking in general. And I felt so much more at peace. And that's like an ultimate reminder at how like valuable that is to like reduce your suffering. Like if you're confused or otherwise sad or something like that, then yeah, just stop thinking. And then eventually you'll just act intuitively and just kind of feel at peace. So yeah. So that was helpful for sure. So that's my update.
I like that, Tim.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And I liked watching you guys sing together. I watched online the Christmas pageant.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jessica.
I encourage people to listen to it at normal speed so they can appreciate your beautiful voices, but also try out 2 times the speed. Just try it.
Oh, okay.
Makes things fun.
Yeah, like those 5 verses that Beth and I are singing. I can only imagine what that sounds like.
Yeah,
at that speed.
Piano in the background, I think, sounds more like from the 1500s or something, where it's like clanking, and I think that's what makes it really fun.
That's Don's like computer music making program. That's
probably why it sounded slightly distorted, and I was
not a real piano. It's whatever program he put it in on his computer.
Oh my gosh,
it's fun, guys.
That's funny. I'm not gonna watch it. I was there.
I might watch it actually.
Yeah,
and I'm very tempted now to run it at 2 times speed. That sounds very good.
Yeah.
Oh,
what about you, Beth? We know that you were paid to be part of a massive Christmas pageant production this year.
Yes, they pay me in candy canes.
Yes. They were like, "Oh, she did another class. We got to pay her more."
Yep. Yep.
I think that's equivalent to frankincense and myrrh, being paid in candy canes.
Yeah. What I know, I'm doing all of this to make my pageant performances better, making the props in the community theater. That's for the pageant performances. My improv class, pageant performances. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
But anyway.
No, I believe that. Yes. The improv class was just for preparation for the pageant. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. We did the Christmas Eve service. We did a scuba Christmas Eve interactive. And that takes up most of my energy for the rest of the year. So I do that. And then these past few days, it's just been like hibernation mode / oh, we're doing a podcast today, I guess I could do that.
Yeah. I think between getting sick, having toothache, and everything else going on with the holidays, we just kind of woke up and we're like, oh yeah, the podcast.
And there's also been weird illness going around in here, and like, I don't know if it was food poisoning or a stomach bug or what, but there've been like 2 separate occasions just in the past week where I'm sitting at the couch feeling perfectly fine, and then I just have to get up and relieve my mouth of stuff that had formulated in there.
Relieve your inside.
And that's like Inside Out, right?
Yeah. And I told that to Craig, and he was like, "You don't think you're pregnant, do you?" And I was like, I sure hope not. But if I am,
that would
Jessica,
be fun,
our babies could be friends.
Hey,
I'm probably not. I'm hoping I'm not. But anyway, Christmas, blah, blah, blah. I like to do all this stuff that we used to do traditionally after Christmas, just because it's too much pressure to try to fit it all in before Christmas. I've got Christmas presents I still haven't sent out because I've decided I'm going to do my church stuff and immediate family stuff by December 25th, but everybody else can wait.
Yeah.
Because it's too much.
Yeah, like belated Christmas, they got the belated birthday, belated Christmas is a thing. So.
Yeah. So,
it's like Happy New Year. This is to welcome the new year for you.
I know.
Yeah, there you go. Indeed.
I'm doing my own. You know what? We're just doing it. As long as I get it done within the 12 days of Christmas, I give myself till January 6th. So,
exactly.
Oh yeah, indeed. Yeah. That's the way to understand it for sure. The 12 days of Christmas.
Yep. So that's what I'm doing. Owen wanted to have some friends over to make cookies, and so we did that on Saturday, and then they didn't follow the directions, and so the dough didn't come out, and so fast forward to today, we made Christmas cookie scones, I guess. Ooh. Is the consistency that it turned out to be. And I'm still really bitter about this one. I'll get over it, but we usually watch Elf on Christmas, but Craig decided that we had watched Elf too many times.
What?
I guess once a year is too many times. But it's fine. So Jonah asked him if he would rather watch Red One,
I saw that movie
with The Rock in it, or Elf, and he chose Elf.
Whoa!
And I hate that movie, Red One. I'm never watching it again.
Yeah,
haven't seen.
It wasn't that bad. It just wasn't Elf. So
right. Yeah, it was interesting, but you said it, Beth.
So if you want to watch a mediocre movie that is an Elf, I recommend it. If you want to watch a really good movie that is Elf, I recommend watching Elf. So anyway, that was Christmas. Today I rediscovered the drink of my childhood.
Oh my gosh! Is flavor
that water?
Is that?
It's wild cherry, clearly Canadian.
No joke, Beth. That is my favorite.
Wait, what?
Really?
Wait, like what is that?
Not even kidding. I can taste it now through the screen.
Yeah, I used to get it at gas stations when I was a kid. It contains zero juice.
What does that say? Clearly Canada?
Clearly Canadian wild cherry. When I was little, I used to think I was so fancy drinking this. And I was telling Craig about that, and he was kind of making fun of me. And I was like, yeah, it does make a lot of sense that to me, fanciness equals Canadian politeness. So yeah, it's delicious. I got it at Smart and Final. They come in 4-packs.
Oh,
They
that's
also had
awesome.
Oh, that's amazing.
cherry.
I
Yeah.
might have to go to
So-
Smart and Final and get some too. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. And I got a new VR Quest 3 for Christmas. Yeah.
Nice.
And this really cool incense thing where you can get incense cones, and then like the incense kind of like goes down the incense holder like it's
like a
like
maze.
it's a waterfall maze. Yeah.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a lot to amuse me, but I on the subject of watching the sermons at 2 times the speed, I still play fishing and watch Bonanza in my VR headset. I do not watch Bonanza at 2 times the speed. That would be chaotic.
Wow.
However, my fishing pole hand is the same controller that I use to do the controls for YouTube. So sometimes when I'm trying to catch a fish and the fish just the controller just happens to go towards the screen, it'll start, and I press the button, it'll start controlling the screen. And sometimes when I press the controller, it makes Bonanza go at 2 times the speed, and it's chaotic. So
Whoa.
I wouldn't recommend it. That's my update. Oh, and I've watched 70 episodes of Bonanza. Jessica?
70?
Oh,
Yeah,
hey, Beth,
70.
Wow. Hey, before we jump into Jessica's update, I just wanted to say, Beth, that with the pageant, those rehearsals, and you're like, hey, Tim, you don't have to wear VBS shirts every time you go to these rehearsals. And and now I find out that on Christmas Eve you have a VBS interactive event.
We did that last year too, and you weren't here. And then this year you said, I think I'm going to go to the regular service. And I said, okay.
Oh my God.
Because I can't make you want to come to the interactive one.
Right.
I'm so sorry. I'll let you know ahead of time next year. So sorry, Tim.
Oh, that's okay. No,
it went swimmingly, by the way.
Oh, that's good. Excellent.
Okay.
I just thought it was funny though, the VBS for Christmas, and then
Yeah,
That's
sorry,
cool.
Tim.
That's okay.
Anyway, what's new with you, Jessica?
I mean, not a whole lot. I'm still, let's see. Since the last time that we were together, all of us holding hands through the screen,
Singing Kumbaya.
singing Kumbaya.
I was the one crying, Lord.
I would say Friday the 13th, which is, a fitting day.
Wow.
Is when I think I started to feel really bad. Because we had our trip to Iowa, and then we came back, and I was feeling pretty good, and I still, I had some nasal stuff going on, and I started to not feel good. And I took COVID tests. Everything came back that I did not have COVID. And then we did our Friday the 13th praise night, and I was literally half dead, but fortunately only had to sing one song. And it was really nice to hear everybody else.
Yeah.
It was from there on out, I have literally just had this off and on cough, nasal congestion kind of situation. And I still have taken some COVID tests because I just want to be sure. And everything's negative. The only thing that's positive is
your attitude.
Is my attitude. And when Amber tested positive on the 20th.
Oh gosh.
It was Friday. It was the last day before her winter break. And she had boxes of Eggo waffles in our freezer to go, like, you know, they were going to have basically like sugar for breakfast, eating waffles and I don't know, chocolate syrup. And then they were just going to watch a Christmas movie, The Grinch, and then they were all going to go home at like 1:00. So it was going to be like a super easy day. Well, she woke up, she had 102.5 fever, and she was like, I don't feel good. And she took a COVID test and she tested positive. And she's like, I don't know what to do. These kids, like, I have all these Eggos. She's like, I've wrapped all of their books because she spoils her children, which is.
Mm-hmm.
And so she put on a mask, went to the school at 6 a.m, wore gloves, made all of the waffles with a mask, like she was fully covered.
Oh,
Got everything ready, made sub plans, got home before 7, it wasn't even 7:30. And so during that time, I prepared the guest room for her and asked her to like make a list of things she needed. And she used the guest room, the guest shower for the next like 4 nights. And then on the 24th, that evening, she finally tested negative.
Wow.
Which was a Christmas miracle because we were like, man, this is our last Christmas together. It would really be like tough.
It's not.
Wouldn't like wake up together Christmas morning. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
It's not your last Christmas together.
Yeah, I was wondering why you said.
Well, our last Christmas before our baby is here.
Okay.
But anyways,
there's that positive attitude I was talking about.
And
then there's that one song, Last Christmas, I gave you my heart.
Yeah. The very next day, let me tell you what happened for sure. No, but it was literally like, I think ever since, I mean, we've just been back and forth with just like, we both don't have COVID, but we're both like literally, I was supposed to sing Worship with Dawn on the 22nd. And I was like, I'm not going to go for a couple of reasons. One, I still have a cough. I'm still not feeling well.
Right.
Plus, Amber's got COVID, and God forbid if I end up getting it somehow, even though we were like very separate. Because I had to take care of the animals. I had to take care of all the animals for like yourself. Let me tell you, I have an appreciation for our teamwork in the house because I've never done so many dishes.
My goodness.
Yeah. But
wow.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. But anyways, and then we missed out on the Christmas Eve services. Like we missed out on a lot of things. We couldn't do a lot of stuff. But I will say this. It was nice to be able to like make her breakfast in the mornings and like try to at least have fun a little bit with it. We got our Nintendo Switches out and we like were playing
games together.
Yeah.
And so we were in different rooms, but we were like still playing games together. And
yeah, I love that.
And so that was nice. Like it's nice to like kind of explore different ways to appreciate relationships. And so that was definitely really nice.
Yeah.
And also, Jessica, she is so busy and so are you. So I'm not saying I'm glad she got COVID, but I'm glad that she was forced to take the break that she desperately needed.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say that she's said this, but I'm not going to deny that she's said this. It might have been mentioned a couple days ago. Man, I kind of liked sleeping in the guest room by myself where it was quiet and I had space and I didn't have
not
to do
20
anything.
Animals.
Right? Because right now in bed, I have my maternity pillow. We have all of our, like literally, I don't know how
the chickens are up
all
there.
of the, yeah. All the chickens are up there. It's just the goats, and they chew on your hair at night,
Yeah, and sometimes their horns go in your ear. Yeah.
But other than that, we did have a really nice Christmas together. We had a really nice time. We're trying to
Your last Christmas together.
Last Christmas. But yeah, that's kind of like in a nutshell. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that has come up, but I think that's it for me.
Nice. That was a good update, Jessica. Thank you.
I think we all had good updates. And
yeah.
The church has a lot of updates as well.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, indeed.
There are so many things happening in January.
Yeah, there are.
Like, if you need to get a piece of paper and a pen, make sure this pen has a lot of ink.
Yeah.
Make sure the paper has a full page ready to go. So, what were you going to say?
If your New Year's resolution is to get more involved in church, then here, get your pen and paper ready right now.
I love that idea. This is the perfect opportunity for people to uphold that New Year's resolution.
Yeah. So starting on Saturday, January 4th, men's group is meeting from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. in the fireside room. Then on Sunday the 5th, Grief Share is meeting at 1 p.m. in the fireside room. They're going to meet on Sundays at 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. in the fireside room for 8 weeks on Sundays. So just be aware of that. On January 11th, kitchen cleanup and pizza from 9 a.m. to 12. Pizza for breakfast, pizza for lunch. It's the greatest.
Wait, is it pizza and a bagel? Because with pizza and a bagel, you can eat pizza anytime.
Listen, I don't know if they're doing bagel bites, but I think that would be the greatest solution.
Yes.
Hey, forget about bed and breakfast. You got pizza and breakfast.
Bagel and breakfast.
Bagel.
Oh, wait, that's
pizza,
already a thing. Pizza, bagel, and breakfast.
Yeah. And then on January 16th, senior luncheon, 11:30 a.m. In the social hall. They'll be asking for helpers to set up, so sign up in the lobby. On January 18th, there's a couple things going on. The first is PUMC 101 from 1 to 4 in the fireside room, where you can learn about the United Methodist Church and how to get more involved. And then the quilters are meeting in the social hall just before that from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Please note the date change. And then on January 19, Messy Church 4 to 6, Growing Generosity. And then on January 28th, Boundaries Book Study, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. in the fireside room. And Beth, are you leading that?
Yes, I am leading that.
Okay. Those were the church updates, but now we're going to to the Methodist moment.
Well, speaking of paying for the podcast, I believe we have over $200 raised.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
I'm
We're almost
so
there.
glad. Oh my God.
I didn't get out my merchandise this Sunday because there wasn't coffee hour and there weren't a lot of people. It was like a ghost town at church. It was crazy. Tim, you were there.
Yeah.
Tim was a ghost.
So,
I was a ghost.
Tim was a ghost. Yeah. So, we're like over a third of the way there. It's $350 and I think we can do it.
Wow.
We totally can.
We can or we can't?
We totally can. But the question is, will it happen before 2025? Very, very risky
business.
Yeah,
Yes,
I would say in terms of high risk, that is what it is called.
Yes, it's kind of like
yes.
That's what they call the bonds when you buy them or whatever. They're like, we refer to these bonds as risky business bonds.
If you were to put stock in Methodist to the Madness,
that would be risky business.
That would be risky business.
Yeah, I was thinking about the lottery, how it's got like way more than $1 billion now, but it's a risk play because you're not going to win, or I don't know. Maybe that has nothing to do with Methodist to the Madness.
We're not giving out $1 billion. That's for sure.
We do have 1 billion listeners, though.
We do. So if each listener donated just $1,
then we would be called a successful business.
They're not risky business.
And the church would be very excited for that donation, for sure.
We could cure homelessness or something.
Yeah, we could literally
cure it.
It would be crazy. Those pews could have velvet seating.
They're gonna be all blinged out. Diamond studded pews.
Yeah.
And then we'll take care of the homeless problem.
Yeah, and then yeah. We're PUMC, inspired by Swarovski, whatever that.
Inspired by Jesus to bling.
Yes.
Was that good for a Methodist update? It's all I got.
I think so.
I think listeners want to know where we're at with that. So I think that's a really good update. And I appreciate you keeping us posted on that. And not only that, but also making yourself available between services to sell merch.
Yeah. Thanks for doing that, Beth.
Creating the merch, and there's a lot of time that goes into that. So
yeah, that's awesome.
I'm still working on a faith it until you make it design.
Oh, I can't wait
to put on something. I'm excited.
Gosh. Wow, that's so exciting. Yeah, so stay tuned, everybody, for when Methodists to the Madness solve world hunger and cure the homeless.
Exactly.
We're going to cure world hunger and solve homeless.
Yes.
I don't know.
Indeed. Wait, back and forth.
I don't know. I don't think homelessness is something that needs curing because it's not a disease.
Right. That's true. It's not.
So we can cure something else.
Right.
Sadness.
Yes, we have a Methodist to the Madness.
I think that's totally possible.
I think so too.
Yep.
Well, speaking of sadness, do you guys want to head into sermon feedback?
Yeah.
Let's do it. We have a couple, but I feel like we already touched on the Christmas pageant a little bit.
Yeah, that was good. We like the stars or something. We had stars on top. Never mind. That didn't make any sense.
But I'm looking forward to next year's Christmas pageant, where the writing will be letters to all of us from frankincense and myrrh. And I'm really interested to hear about that perspective. So we shall see.
Yeah. So while Beth has exited the podcast to visit the helicopter, I will go ahead and bring forth my update if you'd like that, Jessica.
Yeah, you can either talk about the Christmas pageant, or we can just go ahead and dive into the last sermon of the sermon series Masterpiece Christmas Edition. This past Sunday's was Adoration of the Magi, which was a painting by Leonardo da Vinci. And we dove into Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 12. And I will mention it is an unfinished painting by Leonardo da Vinci. So
Yeah.
go for it, Tim.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. So that was the most significant part of all sorts of great significant parts that Pastor Jim brought up. But that was the thing that stood out to me the most, like the fact that that painting was unfinished. And when I saw that painting, I'm like, I didn't think that it was unfinished, but it was definitely, as Pastor Jim put it, like it was in a closet for like hundreds of years or something. I think he said something about it being in a barn or something. Like that was his analogy. But like the fact is, when they resurrected the painting using modern technological like methods, they like, it's just like really neat to see how Da Vinci, like, you actually got to see what all was involved in his setting up a painting. So I think that's kind of like a blessing in disguise in a sense. Like, even though he didn't finish the painting, we actually got to see what his thought process was in making the painting in the first place. And I think that's really neat. But I also thought it was interesting how Pastor Jim brought up the fact that King Herod was, I think, a ruthless narcissist or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that is very interesting. And I liked how he had mentioned that for the wise men to trust Herod, that is a bit of a strange thing. But then for Herod to trust the wise men afterwards, that's just that wasn't going to happen either, essentially. So I thought that was pretty fascinating.
Yes.
But let's see. Should I jump back and forth between this sermon and the other one, or should we focus primarily on this one?
You've got
whichever you'd like, Tim.
There we go. Go for it.
So let me think. What else? Yeah, basically for the other sermon, I thought it was really awesome that Pastor Jim covered the Gospel of John for the Christmas Eve message, because it's funny that I didn't really put two and two together. Like, how they have the whole like Jesus is the light of the world. That's like, that tends to be a central Christmas message. But then I didn't even think about the fact that light and darkness was mentioned so much in the Gospel of John. So I'm really happy that Pastor Jim brought that into his sermon. And then it makes me think like, so you have the three Gospels that are kind of similar to each other. And then you have the one Gospel that mentions light. But then they're both kind of covering Christmas in their own way. So it makes me like really want to dive into all the Gospels and kind of like see that difference, but that they're still like bringing forth a resonating message regarding Christmas. So I thought that was really cool. And the other thing that I thought was fascinating was how in that painting for like Jesus being the light of the world, Mary was like portrayed with like her youth kind of signified. And when you look at other paintings, like in this series where you have Mary, that really isn't necessarily signified, or like there isn't like a really notable like point on her being youthful. So I thought that was really interesting. I didn't know that Mary was like between like, I think 12 and 14 or something when she had Jesus. I thought that was super cool. And then the fact that like those other figures in the painting were angels, and you could only see that with the darkness being illuminated a little bit. So I thought that was really beautiful. And overall, I thought this particular sermon was beautiful from Pastor Jim. I luckily had the opportunity to tell him that on the Christmas Eve at the conclusion of the Christmas Eve service. And speaking of the Christmas Eve service, I just wanted to briefly mention that I just loved it overall, like the candles and then the music and everything. I felt like the God's spirit was in the room with Christmas. So
God's spirit was in the room at the scuba Christmas
yes,
tree, Tim.
indeed, yes, 100%.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
I like your feedback on that, Tim. And yeah, I think the Christmas Eve services in general, just to kind of speak on that, are so special. And I love how at the end of like most Christmas Eve services, the lighting of the candles and like singing Silent Night, I find that to be, I don't know why, but every year I get so emotional when that happens, because it's just such a beautiful time. And
yeah, absolutely. And I'm kind of glad that Beth, you mentioned that about God's Spirit being in the interactive too, because I was thinking, what I'm going to do next year is I'm going to go to the interactive one first, and then I'm going to go to the traditional service, because there's 2 traditional services. So then I'll get a double Christmas enjoyment and connecting with God that way. So maybe that's why we have 2 traditional services, just in case you want to experience Christmas twice. You go to the interactive first, and you go to traditional second. That's excellent.
Another way to experience Christmas twice is when you have 2 families.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, absolutely.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Anyway, Beth, what did you think about?
I didn't watch the Christmas Eve service. I was too filled with God's Spirit with the scuba Christmas Eve service. I didn't have enough room for more. Just kidding. I was going to try to watch it, but then when I looked at the clock, I had 7 minutes to watch it. And I was like, no, I'll just go with the last sermon. But I wrote something down, but it's downstairs. I didn't bring it up with me. But it kind of got me thinking about all of the unfinished projects that I have, like crochet projects and stuff, and how like none of them look that amazing. It's like nobody's going to be coming back when I die to try to restore all of my unfinished crochet projects or whatever.
But how special would it be if like Owen or Jonah decided, anyways?
You're not going to. But I liked
doing it. Yeah.
I liked what how he was talking about in like some of Da Vinci's work, like with the Last Supper, like the triangle that kind of like whatever the focal point is that Da Vinci wants you to see, it kind of like is framed in a triangle shape. And I had never really noticed that before, and now I'm never gonna not notice.
Right, that's fascinating.
Yeah. And as far as everything else, I agree with what Tim said.
Absolutely.
I guess I'm taking a Beth day because my brain has just been really scrambled and doesn't want to work right in these past few days. There's been so many things that I've done that I'm like, how did this happen? I passed my house the other day. There was an SUV in my house that I didn't recognize, or in my driveway that I didn't recognize. I was like, who is this? And I had passed my house. It was the neighbor's house. The car was in their driveway.
I think I've done that before. I'm like, wait, why is this person parked here? And then you find out that it's not even.
Oh, that's not my house.
Right.
Anyway, what do you think, Jessica?
I was thinking back on, I think I mentioned this in a previous episode, how God gives us gifts to express ourselves through the arts, like speaking of like the Masterpiece series. And I had such an appreciation for Pastor Jim talking about the Adoration of the Magi, because what a perfect finish to the series. Like when you think of like the arts and like people expressing themselves and the works that, specifically Leonardo da Vinci, like so many beautiful things that he's created. It allows people like us, to kind of look for understanding and insight into what we're sharing and what we're going through and
just lay people. We're not art experts.
Yeah.
But then I thought about, when we look at that artwork, we're like, I wonder what they're like. It's all about our perspective and like our biases, and like we're projecting all of that into that of this is what I think it was, and there's books about it and all that kind of stuff. And then you think about how amazing that God already has a book for us to use.
Oh yeah.
That we can literally go directly to that, to the writer.
That's true.
Of the stories. And we are able to reference that. And, in turn, like we end up creating our own perspectives at times and interject our biases, which could really change the way that it was supposed to be. But, I think it's nice to think about the parallel of the last painting and how it wasn't fully finished and how God is not finished with us.
Oh, wow.
And our stories are still being written. And I just hope that when people read my story, they're inspired, and not looking at it going, yeah, they really did not know how to use colors. Like, I don't know, like the angles on these are very weird. But
that's what they're going to say about my stuff. But here's the thing though, Jessica, it was always supposed to be weird.
It was always supposed to be backwards.
Oh, yeah.
It was always supposed to be backwards.
So I think that's one like big takeaway from the whole sermon series, but even just remembering the gift of Jesus through this Christmas season is that God is not finished with us, and that we are all these like really beautiful paintings and stories that we have the ability to, utilize gifts that God's given us, and we get to tell stories, and we get to, be part of our own story and have an option to, decide what kind of story do we want.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really special. I think that's something that we shouldn't forget, and know that we may feel like we have a very small chapter in this book of life, but we are each a really beautiful novel, and we are all something that we should take pride and joy that we get to be part of God's family and encourage one another in this massive, beautiful story. So
that's awesome. And kind of like I wanted to mention in regards to that in the Bible, it says that we're children of God, and then we're the light of the world, and we're also the salt of the earth. And so we're here like basically bringing God's message not only into our own lives, but to everyone else. And then we're kind of bringing love to the world as well. And that's through God's Spirit. And, the word became flesh, and then we have God's word like in front of us at any moment that we feel led to have that in front of us, and we could just kind of like live a life that Christ would want us to live. And like you said, it's unfinished, and we're crafting the path based on God leading the way. So I think that's really neat.
Yeah. So that's all I have to say about.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say about that.
That sounds good. Very nice. The Magi, I did not know that they are that was short for magicians.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I learned today that Woody Allen is really into, not Woody Allen, Woody Harrelson is really into magic.
really?
Yeah.
How interesting.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
I would have never put that together.
Me neither.
But these are things we need to know. So I appreciate you letting us know that. Beth.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, that's great. Excellent.
Yeah. Any other thoughts through the sermon feedback, or do you guys want to head on into prayer requests?
I'm good with heading on into prayer requests.
Yeah, I think we touched on everything. Like I mentioned something about the stars earlier. What I was going to say is it's kind of like the stars twinkling. Like all these different pieces that we have here. The paintings.
It's like the song.
Yeah. Wait, like the song? What?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
That's great.
Wonder what you are.
So just think that twinkle, twinkle, little star. Maybe that's God's spirit. Think of the twinkling stars, and I don't know.
Yes, that'll be my nighttime prayer song. Yes.
Is that your prayer then?
Yes, my prayer is.
That's a good segue there.
How I wonder what you are. Well, I can share a quick prayer.
Go ahead.
Okay, that sounds
honestly,
good.
the biggest prayer is like, I really just want to feel better. I've been drinking so much water, which for those that have experienced the miracle and chaos of pregnancy.
When you already have to pee.
Exactly. And sneezing, very coughing is always concerned. So, but anyways, it's one of those things. I really just, I want to get like a full night's rest without coughing. Feeling stuffed up and all that kind of stuff. On a good note, just continued prayers for my pregnancy. I'm like 20. Where am I at? Let's see. I'm 27 weeks pregnant, and the amount of time left is literally
too long.
Only 12 weeks left before a child will be born.
Whoa.
Which is so crazy to think about.
That's amazing.
Well, Jessica, sometimes they're late.
And sometimes they're early.
And sometimes they're early. Both of mine were late.
Yeah. So just, we've have our monthly updates and check-ins with our doctor. We had one last Friday. Everything's still good, even though I've been sick. The baby's like super joyful and kicking me and punching me, which is really crazy to feel. A very interesting feeling that I'm appreciating because it's just a miracle. Crazy. But yeah, I think just continued prayers for that, and prayers for Amber to also feel better, because we're both like, we had so many things on our list that we wanted to do during break, because we both were on vacation, and we're like, we're so far behind. We're like, yeah, we're gonna have to just find like future weekends potentially before the baby comes to get our to-do lists done.
If you need any help, you've got people willing to help you. It's not me and Tim, but I'm sure you could find other people.
I'm sure.
I'm just kidding.
Actually, I'll be honest, next Sunday, when we come to church, because I'm projecting positivity that we're going to be back at church.
When you come to church, yes.
Yes, when?
If anybody wants eggs, we have like...
Please, I want eggs.
I've been like not having eggs for like a month and a half or more.
And they're so expensive right now,
I know.
Jessica.
They are? How much are they?
Wait, they are still?
They've gone up a lot.
Oh, gosh.
Because of bird flu and stuff, I guess.
No.
No.
Yeah.
We're getting about 12 a day from our chickens.
That's amazing.
And we only... 4 total. So
Ever? Oh, a
just
day.
like in the mornings, like we each have 2 eggs, and it's like we're good.
Nice.
How much do you charge for your eggs?
We only charge well, it's $4.50 for a dozen, but if you bring your cartons back, it's $4.
Okay, put me down for 2 dozen then, and I'll bring you money on Sunday.
Put me down for 2 dozen as well, Jessica.
This is great, guys.
We love eggs, especially.
We're just going to bring eggs to church on Sunday. And
Miriam has 1 chicken, and I don't go to her house very often. But whenever I go to her house, she'll just give me like a couple eggs because she has 1 chicken who lays eggs on occasion. I don't know how often.
That's amazing.
Her chicken is laying eggs, but it's so funny to me. I'll go to her house and she'll give me like 5 eggs. I'm like, I love it. I take them in my little baggie.
I love it.
That's awesome.
So funny. So yeah.
Anyway,
those are my prayers and concerns, but it ended on a positive note, so that's all good.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. Prayers for you, Jessica, and Amber as well.
Jessica's about
feel
to make
better.
Upwards of $18.
Yeah. Oh, excellent.
It's very exciting.
Yeah. Well, I guess I could share. I didn't like I said in the beginning, I didn't expect to have a toothache, so now I'm sharing that for my prayer request. So prayers for me to get over this, my toothache. I am taking care of my teeth. I'm following this dentist called the one that I keep talking about, those Zelly's breath mints, Dr. Ellie Phillips. She has this thing called
Zellies.
Yeah, the Zellies. The Zellies are great. But she has this other thing called the Complete Mouth Care System. And I've been doing that for I think maybe close to a month now. And my teeth have been feeling a lot better in general, like cleaner and stuff. So I don't know. I think this is just an off the wall sort of like phenomenon that I just have a toothache like this. I think it's going to end up working out for the best. But prayers for me to get over this strange occurrence where I have pain in my tooth. It's honestly not that bad, but it is annoying. Like, it's just distracting in general. Like, oh, well, I could be thinking about playing a video game, but instead I'm thinking about my tooth, and then I got distracted, and then I didn't end up playing the video game. So
yes.
I guess, and then the other thing, a prayer for anybody that needs one in regards to the holidays. I know that maybe it was time, a stressful time potentially, or a sad time or something like that. I know I had a little bit of sadness thinking about my friend that became a little bit distant. So prayer for anybody that needs one in regards to overcoming all of that. I don't know if not thinking is the answer for everybody, maybe focusing on your favorite things or praying to God or all of the above might be helpful. But anybody that could use like a hug or comfort or a prayer for sadness or stress, I put that out for anybody that needs it.
That's nice of you, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Oh, thanks.
I'm just going to take Tim's prayer. Just kidding. Yeah. I also would like to not be sick anymore. It's kind of annoying. I haven't been as sick as long as Jessica, but it sucks to be sick annoying. No matter how long you are.
Right. Yeah, it's just bizarre. Indeed.
And then my second thing is I would like a prayer for boundaries. I am leading a boundaries Bible study that starts on January 28th in the fireside room on Tuesdays from 6:30 to 8:30 for 8 weeks. And I've gotten pretty good at setting the boundaries when I have to. But the thing that I'm not good at is knowing how to behave like a normal person after I've set said boundary. I'm like, okay, I've set the boundary. I don't know how to proceed from here.
I think I struggle with that too.
Like, it's just been like a weird thing. I'm like, no, I will not be tolerating this anymore. And then I'm proud of myself for setting the boundary. But then after that, I'm like, I don't know how I'm supposed to, behave as a person to this person I've set the boundary to now. So
right.
I guess I just have to avoid every person forever if I've set boundaries with them.
I think I've done that with people before, Beth, so I understand.
Yeah, I think setting boundaries are so uncomfortable at first, and then people are like, "Oh, that's just who she is." Unfortunately, sometimes the boundaries are like where I'm very awkward and socially awkward to where I will slowly walk away from a conversation.
And
I'm like, this is not a conversation I want to be in.
You're like that meme of Homer where he goes back into
the basically, and I'm like, nobody will notice that I'm gone. We're just, it is uncomfortable, but stick to those boundaries because at the end, so
I see.
I'm really good. Like right now, like I know that the boundaries need to be in place, and my brain recognizes that, and my brain is actually letting me like place the boundaries. Like my brain is like, you can't tolerate this anymore. You need to say something. So I've been good at saying something, and it's everybody in my life. Like I was having a really hard time on Christmas because of things that had happened and that I won't talk about, but I was like, I don't know who to talk about this with anymore because like the boundaries that I've been setting are like, okay, I need you to not do this in my life because that's a boundary I need to set.
Yeah.
And so then I'll tell them that. And then I'm like, okay, I'm glad I said that. But now I'm like, okay, now I don't know if I'm allowed to talk to this person about my stuff. So I'm like, all right, just shove it deep down. Just kidding.
Beth, do you need to go out for some coffee?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you can have coffee. I'm going to put whiskey in mine. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Prayers for Beth's mental health. She's struggling a little bit right now.
We will be for sure. I appreciate you being very open about that because I think that kind of goes with Tim's prayer for everybody during the holidays too. In different ways, people feeling a certain way during the holidays. I think it's just there's so many expectations during.
Yes.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And I kind of was okay with Amber getting COVID.
Yeah.
I was like,
also, most of the expectations of Christmas are, let's just say they're not being put on anybody else in my family. Most of the expectations are stacked on my shoulders. And,
that's a lot. That's too much. I mean,
yeah. That's why I decided everybody else can wait.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what? I think the holidays next year should just be do one day of celebration. That is it.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to a holiday party. Stay home. Don't wear
COVID.
Yeah.
What if we had social COVID?
Yeah.
Where we just decide I can't go. I have social COVID. I'm staying home.
Oh, wow.
To take care of
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I like that a lot better than saying a mental health day. Social COVID.
Yeah.
We all know how to do that.
I'm experiencing social COVID right now. I need to stay home.
At least 10 days of isolation.
For at least 10 days. Because it's contagious.
It is. And people are going to have to bring you your breakfast for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Can't go grocery shopping. Can't be out.
Social COVID.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Yep.
Right.
Well,
all right. Well, we did it.
Yep.
We did it.
Yep, we did it. Very, very good. I'm I'm glad that we could share all these things. It was really good seeing both of you.
Yeah.
It's good to see everybody.
Likewise.
Yeah. It's been so wonderful, and I'm excited for next time. But until then,
stay mad, you Methodists.
Places, we all have different names. No matter what life brings us, Jesus is the same. We're just your Methodists to the madness. Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness. Methodist to the madness.